I buried my son today. My original due date is in about a week or a week and a half. Today is October 16th and my baby was due October 24th. On April 5th, I found out that our baby didn't make it. I was around 11 weeks, so it was my 12-week scan. I was supposed to be 11 weeks, and my baby boy measured 7 weeks with no heartbeat. So I experienced a missed miscarriage, and that's when our world flipped upside down. Maybe not literally, but it sure felt like that. So I've told my story before, and I've done a follow-up video to talk about one of the ways that I've grieved our son with a memory box. Today, I'm doing another follow-up. Healing doesn't just happen within a few days of the miscarriage or even a few weeks. I am 6 months post D&C, 1 week away from my due date, and I am still very much healing. Today was hard. I thought I was a lot better, but some days are still really tough. Especially days like today. I continue to share my experience because I know that I'm not the only one, and there are so many women out there who do not have the platform that I do. With my influence here on social media and the community that I've been able to build, I feel it's very important for me to share these experiences with you, to be vulnerable, and to continue to be honest about what I'm going through. And by doing that, I hope that it can show even just one person that they're not alone. You are not alone. I'm not alone. And it's okay to be sad. Today at the funeral, there was a woman there who said when they started to put on these funerals 5 years ago, and I'll backtrack for a second, these memorial services are a funeral every year on October 15th or around that day when they bury all of the babies who have been lost with this particular hospital that we went through. And those babies are buried together. And it's an opportunity for the families to have a service for their children without having to pay for a memorial funeral service, which can be very expensive, especially for such a small baby that may not even be considered by law, depending on when you lose your baby. You don't get a death certificate if it's before a certain number of weeks gestation, and if it's after a certain number of weeks gestation, I think it's around 20, 21, I'm not sure on the exact week, but then there's a death certificate. You go through a birth. In my case, my baby was lost and I went through surgery, and those remains were sent on to pathology to figure out if there was anything abnormal, which there wasn't. And then from there, the remains were sent on to the funeral home because we consented, yes, for the memorial service. We didn't know that was going to be offered, but we thought it was a beautiful, beautiful thing that we were very thankful to have. Before I share this with you, I remembered where I was going with this. Today at the funeral, there was a woman there that worked for the funeral home, and she said 5 years ago when they first put on this service, she wasn't sure if she wanted to go or that she was even able to, for that matter, emotionally, because over 40 years ago, she lost her own babies. She had 2 or 3 miscarriages of her own during her childbearing years. And it wasn't until that first memorial service 5 years ago that she actually started dealing with her grief. She said that today our society doesn't talk about miscarriages. We don't know how. It's a tough thing to discuss. It's a tough thing to open up about. I know for myself, looking around at all of the families that were there today, it was hard. It was hard to watch them. It was hard for myself. I mean, I was standing literally in their shoes. We were standing in each other's shoes, and we know how each other felt. We may not have been through the exact same loss, same gestation, same type of miscarriage, but we knew that pain, and we knew it together. But my mom was able to come with us and hold our son Oliver, who is turning 2 this December. He's exactly 22 months old right now, which is exactly how far apart our boys would have been. And it's tough. There was a board where we could write our babies' names and how we wanted to remember our baby, and I wrote Henry with a little sun underneath because that was kind of the symbol that I had envisioned. Because when we were redoing the nursery to be a joint bedroom for our 2 boys, it was already a safari theme for our first son, kind of like a black and white rainbow safari all over the place. And I was turning it into a rainbow sunshine safari theme before we figured out if we were having a boy or a girl, and then we found out it was a boy, and I was leaning more toward sunshine safari. The sun is what I thought of, and we had the song Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. If you haven't seen the other video talking about this memory box, I'll show you a little bit here. I'm wearing the necklace that was part of this box. I brought it out today. But this was the onesie that we held up in our announcement pictures that we took. And it says, Here Comes the Sun, and that's the song by the Beatles. We have our sonograms of the baby when we had a heartbeat for him and when we didn't. We had a little storybook with his name, his little baby blanket that was made, and his full name. Henry Calvin. Last night we were at the ceremony. It's called a Wave of Light ceremony. So I don't know if you can see that, but my husband wrote Henry Calvin Flater. And then we decorated it with a sun, 2 butterflies, a little hot air balloon, because that was kind of like a little symbol that we thought of for our boy. Some roses that reminded me of one of my grandparents. Another flower that was my grandpa's funeral flower because he loved Hawaii. And on the back, I wrote Oliver's baby brother with another butterfly, some plants, flowers, a dragonfly, and his name again, Henry Calvin Flater. And so in this bag, we put a candle, a fake one, so that it wouldn't burn. We put a fake candle there, and it was beautiful. We had a lot of families lined up with their babies and the luminary bags that they had decorated for their children. So I will be adding to this memorial box. For the kids that were there, they got to decorate these little things, and my son doesn't really draw or write quite yet, so my mom was holding him and helped him write Henry's name and what appears to be a heart. So we'll actually hang this on our Christmas tree, just to keep Henry with us, especially for the holidays and when he should be there with us, but sadly is not. And something else that I thought was just beautiful were these little angel wings that were included in these bags. And they're just so small. It's like the wings that he was wearing when he passed away. And then the candle that we used. So maybe we'll use this bag here and there. We've got some rocks in here to keep it heavy, and I'll probably take those out, put it in a plastic bag. But this other little bag has butterflies all over it, which, if you remember, I actually got a butterfly tattoo for my son. I know not everybody is really into tattoos. I've certainly seen some opinions about mine. I still love them, but with the loss and the heartache that I had been going through, having something to remember my son by. And I saw so many butterflies within that first month after having my miscarriage and my surgery. It was, butterflies shouldn't have even been around because it was not warm enough for them yet. But I saw so many. There was a little bracelet in this bag, a business card for some resources, this little card that says, "I will miss you forever, like the stars miss the sun in the morning sky." And they had plenty of different cards with different sayings on them, and this just so happened to be the one that I got. And I feel like that is kind of perfect. And then we got some pins for the miscarriage ribbon, a couple other different ones. And it says, "Every life, no matter how brief, forever changes the world." So yeah, those are just a few of the new additions to Henry's memory box. So back to this little bouquet. This is a bouquet of flowers that consist of all of the memorial flowers for my lost loved ones. At every funeral that I've been to for my family members, we've had some sort of artificial flowers. This little hibiscus flower was from my grandpa, who was the first person I ever lost. And then later, my grandma on my mom's side passed away, and I had several flowers from hers. And then, gosh, a week later, my grandpa died, my other one. And this was from his, this little rose was from his. A few months later, my other grandma died, my last grandparent. I lost a lot of people in 2020. It was kind of absurd. And then a few months later, my childhood best friend, her mom died of lung cancer, which is this little sunflower. So these are all people who meant something to me, and their death impacted me in some way. And I appreciate having an artificial flower because it's something that will last for a long, long time. Maybe it's a little morbid, but I find it a little comforting to have these flowers because not only are they artificial and they won't die, they are bright, colorful, and they are so uplifting. And they're a reminder that my loved ones are with me forever. No matter if they're here or somewhere else, they're watching over me. And today, they unfortunately did not have any artificial flowers. So they gave us these white, what are they called? Oh my gosh, I forgot what they're called. But anyway, I'm not good with flowers. Carnations, yes. Okay. This one happened to break off of the stem, but I grabbed one and my mom grabbed one, and then my mom... Hi, Molly. My mom gave me hers. My son's up from his nap. Hold on. So anyway, I went to Hobby Lobby and I bought another carnation, an artificial one, in Henry's color. Yellow is just the color that we kind of pictured for him, just like green was just kind of the color that we pictured for Oliver. Catching my breath. So I will add this to the bouquet. I'll just put this right there for right now. It's a little uneven, but that's okay. Can I help you? Thank you. My husband and I, aside from the loss, we started trying again as soon as my cycle returned, right after the miscarriage. And I know that seemed a little soon, but you know, just like a lot of other women, I was online searching how to get pregnant after a miscarriage. I wanted it back. As much as I knew that I was never going to get my baby back, and I still know, I want him back. I want him back, but I know that's never going to happen. I want that pregnancy back, like it shouldn't have been taken from me. And I know that everything happens for a reason. As much as that sucks to say and to hear, no one wants to hear that, but I know it's true. I'll say it. I'll hear it. It's okay. But we've been trying. And whoever says that getting pregnant after a miscarriage is easier, I would really like to know for who, because it sure has not been easier for me. I know that I have other medical conditions, endometriosis, and things that I have going on, so that could also be why. But trying again has not come without challenges. I actually, I had therapy today, and I'm very open about that. I advocate for it because I think it's been extremely beneficial to have someone to talk to about these hard things that can come up in life for anybody. Honestly, just living as a human in life comes with challenges. But I said, trying for our first son, that was great. That was fun. Trying after a loss is different. It's like wanting to be pregnant so bad, but then also fearing, what if it happens again? Can I handle that? I don't want to lose another baby, but I want my baby. There's a lot of emotions, and here we are, 6 months since my miscarriage, and I'm not pregnant yet. I started to see a positive pregnancy test a couple weeks ago, and I thought that it was finally time that we were going to have a baby, another baby. I felt pregnant, my breasts hurt, I had cramping, I even felt nauseous. Took a test, I saw that faint positive line, and I knew it was early, so I was waiting for that line to get darker, and it didn't. And I know there was another baby in there. It didn't stick. Trying again is just so exhausting. And I want it to happen. I know that it hasn't for a reason. And it will happen at the perfect time. I don't need to be told that anymore. I have heard it enough. I've heard it from others. I've even told myself. I've said it enough times to reassure myself, and I know it's going to happen when it's meant to be. But waiting for that time that's meant to be is draining. It's hard to stay happy and hopeful when you're mourning the loss of a baby and scared for another, because you don't know if it's going to work out or if it's going to end in the exact same pain that you've already been through. There's a lot of anxiety. I have enough already, and there's so much more that comes with this. So today I buried my son, added more to his memory box, said goodbye to the physical remains that he was, along with all of his friends that did not get to make it with their mommies and daddies. And I'm still not pregnant. One day I will, because we're not going to stop trying. And maybe it is significant that I haven't gotten pregnant yet, and my due date is next week. Maybe there's a reason for it. I hate it. I wish I could just snap my fingers and have my baby back and not have had to go through this, but I know that going through this is making me the person that I'm meant to be. Trying for a baby, trying to conceive after a loss, after infertility is hard. Part of me feels like this platform that I have, this audience, is an opportunity for me to be a voice for those who can't be one for themselves, to be someone who can show others that they're not alone, and to advocate for other women that it's okay to grieve, it's okay to be emotional, whether it's 4 days, 6 months, 30 years, or more after your miscarriage. Your loss is valid. Your feelings are important. We're in the same shoes, and I get it. I hope that I never have to go through this again. I hope that you don't have to go through this ever or again. But life is life, and I know that it happens to 1 in 4 women at least once in their lifetime. That being said, I am 1 in 4, and you women are not alone. Men who have lost a child with a partner, you're also not alone. My husband is dealing with his own pain. We're dealing with that together, and we're healing. So whether you're a woman, a man, or you identify as something else, you're a parent or you're someone who has lost a baby, or anyone else for that matter, always just try to remember that your pain is valid and it's important, and you deserve to grieve however you need to, and that we're here with you. I'm here with you, and I'm dealing with it, as best I can. I don't even know where I'm going anymore with this, but I just decided that it was time to share a little bit more of my story. And I'll keep sharing as long as I have more to tell. So as always, check in with me down in the comments and let me know how you're doing too, how long it's been since you've had a loss, if you're willing to share, or if you just want to drop a heart to let me know that you were here. I appreciate that too. My name's Abby, I'm 1 in 4, and this has been my story. If you want to check out the actual miscarriage story video and the playlist, I have both of those linked down below in this video and the description, so go ahead and check those out. I do keep a lot of things private in my life, but there are some things that I feel an urge to share for others and for myself to help me heal. I hope that this has helped you, and even if this has helped one person, then it's doing its job, because I know that talking about this and sharing it with all of you is going to be very helpful for me too. And that's why I do this. Not for pity, for attention, but to share the experience with all of you so that we can all be together and no one has to be alone. I suppose that's it. If you aren't currently subscribed to me, I live in a real house that's not white on white on white. Just know that my content is normally about decluttering, organizing, and simplifying life, whatever that means for you. And I advocate a lot for mental health and doing what's right for you. But along the way, I do like to share some of the experiences that I go through in life, such as my miscarriage story. So if you want to follow along, by all means, I am here and we can go through our journeys together. So if you want to stick around, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.